It comes down to this. People fighting to get to this country and people fighting over who should get in. The Rio Grande Valley in Texas is the epicenter of the migrant surge, with more than 159,000 encounters here since October of 2020, much higher than anywhere else along the southern border. The biggest recent increase in Customs and Border Protection encounters has been among migrant families, up 174% from February to March, although notably still fewer than in March of 2019. So what happens to these families once they cross the border? We're at the wall right now. We just learned that about 600 people were just apprehended at the border, and we're going to go see what we can find out. Most families are brought here by smugglers and immediately surrender to Border Patrol. Beyond the wall in Mission, Texas, a temporary outdoor processing center has been set up under the Anzalduas International Bridge. No beds, no roof, no walls. But some migrant families told us they spent days here. You were under the bridge when Border Patrol detained you. What were the conditions like there?
Bien feo porque dormíamos en un gran frío y
very bad, very cold. They didn't give us nothing to cover ourselves with, and we would sleep on the dirt.
These two young mothers, both in their 20s, fled from Honduras with their children. The increase created a major capacity issue. Facilities overcrowded and the workforce stretched thin. So CBP has released many families here. And recently, Border Patrol agents were authorized to release them without a court date for an immigration hearing, a move, quote, intended to mitigate operational challenges. Some families even told us they weren't asked to provide any contact information to authorities. So it's unclear how the government will reach them to see that they go before immigration judges. This flies in the face of Biden administration policy.
If families come, if single adults come to the border, we are obligated to return them.
The White House says only unaccompanied minors are allowed to stay in the U.S. All others, families and individuals, should be expelled to Mexico under Title 42. That's an order enacted by the Trump administration to effectively close the border during the COVID-19 pandemic. But while the vast majority of individuals are indeed being expelled, many families are allowed to stay in the country. And that's because Mexico has stopped allowing the U.S. to expel families with kids under the age of 6 due to their own capacity issues. So once information like fingerprints and a photo are taken, many families are put on buses into border towns like McAllen. From there, city officials and volunteers from local NGOs take over. And what happens from there after they're dropped off here?
Well, we immediately will make sure that they get tested for COVID. We have a site back there. That way we can then allow them to enter our center.
Sister Norma runs Catholic Charities, an organization that's been caring for migrants for years. With increasing numbers requiring more space, she's partnered with Our Lady of Guadalupe, a church run by Father Roy Snipes and his volunteers.
We have this beautiful hall and we got this beautiful school, and during the pandemic we're not using it at all. So we got we can open up the hall in the school. There's never been a need for us to open up a refugee center. These numbers, this is a whole other reality. These are poor people struggling for their families to survive.
After a desperate and dangerous journey, this church is the first place in weeks where many can rest, have a good meal, and feel safe.
Over here in that classroom right there, number 10, that's where we give them their clothes to get a change of clothes. And, you know, they just have just their basic mat, their blankets. And like I said, we give them dinner, a place to sleep, and some breakfast in the morning, and then they're on their way to wherever their destination is.
For most people, the destination is wherever they have a family member already living in the U.S. Where are you going from here?
Denver, Colorado.
Indianapolis.
We met people heading to Florida, Maryland, Boston, California, all corners of the country. On my own trip back home to New York, the McAllen airport was filled with immigrant families, recognizable by the manila envelopes that contain their paperwork and a message to help navigate the journey. All the families we met told us they will try to get legal status to stay in the country more permanently. The majority on my flight seeking a new life in America.
There's no future over there, and I want a future for my son over here. She saw an opportunity, not for her, but for her son, and she saw an opportunity that she can come and make, give her son a better life.
Hey, NBC News viewers, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down here and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives. Thanks for watching.